Oh, you want me to head into the prelude?
Sure.
All right.
Oh, I don't have my chime, so ding.
Oh wait, I can do that. Hold on.
Nice.
There you go.
Morning has broken like the first morning, like earth has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them spring. Fresh from the word. Soon the rains do fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise with the sweetness of the wet heart. Strong in completeness, where God's has. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the moonlight, leading something. Praise with elation, praise evermore. God's creation of
Welcome. Can y'all hear me? No. No? I mean, I'm pretty loud, but.
Hold on a second.
Hello?
Right now.
Hello? Is that better? Okay. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of the Brazos Valley, UUCBV, or Brazos UU for short. My name is Allison, I'm a she, her, and I am serving as your worship assistant today. We are a welcoming congregation, which means we celebrate and welcome all people of diverse sexual orientations and gender identities. We also strive to welcome people across diversities of race, age, ability, immigration status, and belief. We are also a congregation working for reproductive justice. So whoever you are, wherever you have come from, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. We have a couple of announcements today. Today's service is a little bit different. If you need a fidget or to read a book or color, they're in the front corner. All ages can do them, not just little ones, but it's in the front corner on the blanket. We have 3 announcements. Are you receiving information from us? Are you receiving our e-cast? If you are not, there is a physical sign-up sheet in the back. If you think you're signed up, but you're not getting them, that's sometimes Google doesn't like us. Sign up again and we'll make sure that we send you it individually. Second, Superhero Academy, which is our elementary RE class, is on Wednesday at 5:30 at the Fun for All playground. And third, the Boo at the UU, which is our Halloween extravaganza, will be on October 28th at 6:30 p.m. at the Reverend's house. Does anyone have any other announcements today?
I'll make a quick announcement. I'm going to make an announcement that next week I'm making an announcement about construction project and how the progress is going on in the new church. So it's getting very exciting. Things are accelerating. Lots of things are happening. So I'm starting to get pumped. I'll share it next week.
All right, and today I would like to introduce our guest. As I mentioned, we have a special service about imagination with a very special guest. We have the UU Games Minister, Reverend Craig Schwalenberg, this morning. And in addition to being an ordained UU minister and affiliated with the Church of the Larger Fellowship, Reverend Craig is certified in therapeutic game mastering. They believe in the importance and power of intergenerational play, and they are a lifelong lover and player of all types of games, so card games, board games, RPGs, etc. So during today's service, you'll notice that we have some recorded and some live elements from Reverend Craig for technical reasons. After service, the Reverend will also be available on Zoom, and we'll share the meeting ID with you in case you want to log in on your own device, or John in the back can submit a question to Reverend Craig too for you. So welcome to service.
Hello. Thank you for allowing me to be your guest today. It is an honor, a privilege, and a great joy. I believe this is the first congregation in Texas I've visited in person or online. So far, people have been quite welcoming and friendly. I hope I get to experience your hospitality in person someday. It is my practice when I'm a guest minister to bring greetings in a way taught to me by my colleague, the Reverend Bob Janis. The first time he was a guest in a church that I served, he greeted the congregation and then shared with them some kind words about their minister. It meant a great deal to me, and I've kept that tradition ever since. And so I will now do the same. I've known Reverend Kaya Hartwood for over a decade. She and Meg have been guests in my home too many years ago. I've attended her concerts, participated in workshops with her, collected and rocked out to her music. I've also played games with her. I've gone geocaching with her in the middle of winter and had long conversations about this vocation we've both chosen, or has chosen us. I will start by telling you what you already know. Reverend Kaya is a fierce defender of the underdog. She is a talented musician, writer, and storyteller. And she has a heart that is larger than, well, Let's just say it fits the state of Texas and more. But you know that. She's your minister. Let me tell you something you don't know, something Kaya doesn't even know. Kaya is partly responsible for my new ministry. During those game sessions, those hikes, those concerts, those workshops, and most especially those late night, lazy afternoon, long talks, Kaya inspired me. She helped me see that you could practice your art as a ministry. She also reminded me over and over and over again the importance of having a dream, of staying true to your principles, and surrounding yourself with people you know and trust that love and respect you. Kaya has been living a ministry of love and justice long before we all added that reverend before her name. And I am deeply grateful for that ministry and the ministry you all are doing and are going to do with her. Our call to worship is adapted from words written by Beth Merrill Neal on her blog, Hold Fast to What is Good, adapted and used with her permission. We are called to joy, taking our turns with wild abandon, sure of the love that buoys us, sure of the laughter that awaits. We are called to play with the sacred, with each other, with creation, abandoning the grip of control, releasing solemnity, trusting in what will be, basking in the warmth of the divine, in love and in laughter. So may it be.
Now is the time when we light the chalice. We just had some new friends arrive, so I want to make sure everybody sees the blanket at the front. It has crayons and stuff if you would like it. So, our chalice lighting today. You know, we never really talk about why we light the chalice, and it's just simple that we're all together in this space. And it's a special ritual that we really don't really say why we do it. But we say some words together, and we light our chalice as sort of a symbol of us being together. So please say our chalice lighting words with me. We light our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, as a beacon of hope for all who seek justice, dignity, and compassion, and in celebration of the life of truth and meaning we share together. Good job, Lori. All right, now we have our affirmation statement. Please all join me in saying it. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now please all sing with me number 346. Come sing a song with me.
All right, I'm looking for a lot of help out there. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and truth in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll
Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when home is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Thank you so much.
And now it's time for our Time for All Ages. That blinked by Reverend Craig. So let's see.
All right, let's give it a go.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Let's see if this works. So, earlier this week, I attended your Lunch and Learn, and they helped me come up with the name for today's story, which you are all going to help tell with me. We are going to do an improvised, collaborative, cooperative story. Okay, so we're going to play a game, and the game is telling the story together. And the way this is going to work, normally when I'm there in person, I would be up in front and I would throw a plush 20-sided die at people when I wanted a suggestion. But Allison is there, and Allison, what do you got?
I have a pillow pet. I offer
pillow pet. Excellent. So Allison, when I ask a question, or I pause and say, what's the next part of the story? I need you to hand or toss the pillow pet to somebody. If you get the pillow pet, you come up with the first thing that crosses your mind for the story, and if you don't want to participate, throw the pillow pet at somebody else, or hand it nicely to somebody else, and we'll tell the story together. Everybody understand? Yeah, excellent. Okay, so the title that the folks on, when was that? Was that Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. Thursday, okay, so the people on Thursday who delightful people I had lunch with, they came up with the title today is The Story of the Hippopotamus That Hiccuped. So, we are going to start our story with a hippopotamus, a baby hippopotamus no less. Very adorable, very cute. And we need a name for our baby hippopotamus. So who's going to name our baby hippopotamus?
I named the baby hippopotamus.
Okay. Can you hear me
Oh.
from here?
He should be able to. Just talk to him.
So Allison, leave the pillow pet with whoever gave the name. There you go. All right, and what was the name?
He said baby hippopotamus.
Baby hippopotamus. Oh, so the baby hippopotamus doesn't have a name. The baby, it's baby hippopotamus. Okay, so baby hippopotamus was actually having a pretty good day discovering what the world was like and eating a wonderful lunch of cabbages and carrots. And all of a sudden, it felt this most disturbing feeling where its whole body shook and it made a most unhippopotamus noise. And its whole body shook. And it didn't know what it was. And it was kind of scared. So it decided to ask somebody bigger and wiser than it what that was. Who should our baby hippopotamus talk to? I didn't hear the answer.
We're working.
We're working on it.
Okay.
Mr. Crazy Cuckoo is our answer.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Crazy Cuckoo.
I don't know what kind of animal or thing that is.
Like what kind of animal?
What is,
It's a lion.
a lion? Oh my goodness, so the baby hippo wanders off to the king or queen of the jungle, the lion, and says, I don't know what it is. And the lion says, oh, that's a hiccup. They happen sometimes. If they don't stop, well, bad things might happen. Good luck. And the lion wandered off. And the baby hippopotamus felt really bad because he had the hiccups and decided that he needed somebody else to help. So who else should the hippo go to ask for help? Okay. All right. The hippopotamus goes and finds the person with the longest neck in the woods, the giraffe. Because if anybody's going to know about hiccups, surely the giraffe will. And the giraffe said, hiccups are terrible. I feel them all the way from my chest, all the way up my neck. It's terrible. And you know what? There's a way to stop hiccups. There's a way. Every time I get the hiccups, here's what I do. Someone give me a remedy for hiccups. Throw the pet back to somebody else. There we go.
Drinking water upside down.
Oh, the giraffe says, every time I get the hiccups, I drink water upside down. At which point the baby hippopotamus says, how do you do that? How do you do that? And it's very easy. And the giraffe spread its legs wide and dipped its long neck down and turned its head upside down and drank water. The baby hippopotamus went into the water and went underwater because baby hippopotamuses can swim, and under the water and turned over upside down under the water and drank some of the water, came out of the water and didn't work. Let's get another remedy. Somebody throw the bear to somebody else or the pet to somebody else. What's another remedy for hiccups? Oh!
Hold your breath and swallow a few times.
Hold your breath and swallow a few times. That's a good one. So, the baby hippopotamus was underwater, and on the side of the water hiccuping, and along came platypus. And the platypus saw what was happening and said, no, that's a good way to drown. What you want to do is hold your breath and swallow. It works every time. Works for me every time. And the platypus wandered off. The baby hippopotamus held his breath, swallowed, and swallowed. And the hiccups were gone. And the baby hippopotamus went back to its mommy and its daddy, mom and dad hippopotamus, and told them all about it. And mom and dad hippopotamus said to the baby hippopotamus, it's good that you asked for help, and it's great that you found people that helped you. But remember, next time you can ask us too, and we'll be happy to tell you. And you should know their hiccups will go away on their own most of the time. It's just a part of being a hippo. Happens all the time. And that is the end of our story of the hippopotamus that hiccuped. Thank you, everybody, who helped me tell it.
All right, our next hymn is number 124, Be That God.
That eye that love sustains, rise above the daily strife. Lift up high, good you find, help to heal the hurts of life. Be that helper, nothing daunts, doubt a friend or taunt a foe. Ever strive to the good you find, help to heal the hurts of life. Be that builder, trusting good, bitter though the test may be. Through the trials and life, though they build with agony. Be that teacher, faith directs, move beyond the old frontiers. Full of fright and fear that faith, feed tomorrow's pioneers.
Now let us join together to share our joys and sorrows and know that we are not alone. We know that there are many joys, sorrows, and concerns among us. Please come up and light an electric candle to express any joy or sorrow that you wish to share with everyone. Please remember that our service is recorded and available publicly, so if you need to moderate your message, please do so. And come on up whenever you're ready.
My joy is that I'm going to my friend Chloe's house today. That we're going to our friend's birthday party and we just got new lights.
Cool.
Our joy is that my wife and I returned from the Pacific Northwest earlier this week. We got to visit friends and family, and the highlight was two little grandsons.
The killed off our father growing.
We're very glad that it's cool enough so we can be in our garden again.
We just returned from a trip to Albuquerque and we saw great grandma. How old did great grandma turn? How old is great grandma?
88.
So we were so pleased to be able to visit with her.
Does anybody else have a joy or sorrow to share? Reverend Craig says, my wife Cheryl is feeling ill today, and while we are on vacation, so any good thoughts from her would be appreciated. Yes, we will send those along. May we remember those who have spoken, those they have named, and those we hold in silence in our hearts.
Our reading is a poem by Jenny Justice entitled Remember to Play. We forget what it is like to laugh, to play. We forget what it is like to simply exist in moments of joy. The one thing that separates adults from kids is not age, not time, not wisdom, not responsibilities, bills, work, or things we label as adult that are just bad habits dressed up as something we've earned the right to do. Drink and gamble, use people, use each other, be snide, be snarky, suppress feelings. No. What makes an adult is the inability to play without fear, to play without restraint, to play without feeling foolish. We forget. We forget. We forget. And we mourn a bit, sure, because of bills, because of work, because we confuse things like bars and drinking or parties or thrills for play, when these things are not play. Play is an endeavor of the spirit. Playfulness is an attitude of pure glee. Playing is curiosity in action, discovery, pretending. Play is approaching each moment as new, full of beautiful possibility, of imagination. Play is grace and laughter, even when falling and crawling. Play is using our bodies, our hearts, our minds, and spirits to explore the world around us with kindness and awe. We forget this. We forget this. We have to remember. We have to make time, all of us, children, adults, all genders. We have to remember to play. How many of you enjoyed our little storytelling game? How many of you liked where we ended up in the story? How many of you wish it would have gone differently? Some of you might have found it a bit nerve-wracking when it was your turn to say something, or when we were all looking at you for a suggestion, or even when somebody else made a suggestion that went the wrong way in your opinion. Some of you might have even thought it a bit foolish, and that's okay. Improv isn't for everyone. And telling a story that way is risky and unconventional, which is the very definition of the fool's way. The Fool is another one of my spiritual inspirations, but that's a whole other service. You'll have to invite me back for that one. Let's get back to the topic of today, games and make-believe. How many of you watched Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and remember the trolley taking us to the land of make-believe? Did you hear the trolley sound just now? Or for our younger folks, do you remember Miss Frizzle and the Magic School Bus? How many of you out there have played Dungeons and Dragons or some other role-playing game? How many of you played games of make-believe when you were a kid? How many of you play them as adults? Are you sure? If you don't play games of make-believe, I'd ask yourself, why not? Why did you stop? Our imagination is a wonderful gift. As adults, we don't often talk about imagination, or if we do, we talk about it with a different word. We use the word creativity. Do you ever notice the different connotation between those two words? She's got a very active imagination. He's quite a creative person. Imagination is seen as a bit frivolous, and creative is, well, a productive thing. We use it for writers and musicians and painters, and we tie creativity to results or problem solving. We're creating solutions. What do we link imagination to? Dreaming, wishing, fantasies. We are doing ourselves a disservice this way. Imagination is way more powerful, way more important than we give it credit for. Because imagination is the first step to transformation. Now, before we get too far down this path, I want to head off a potential misunderstanding, a possible misconception. I am going to talk about the power of imagining today and the power of positive thinking. But I am not preaching the prosperity gospel. And I am most certainly not expounding on the secret. I hope not to offend anyone when I say both of those related theologies are just bad. I know you don't expect a Unitarian Universalist minister to say something like that. We're supposed to be open-minded, and we're often described as welcoming to all beliefs. That is only half right. We are open-minded, but not so much that we let our brains fall out. And a close study of the prosperity gospel and the secret will quickly lead you to some very ugly places that are not consistent with our UU principles or our message of love and respect for all. So, I'm not talking about those beliefs today. That is not where we are headed. I'm talking about playing make-believe, the amazing power of our imagination. More and more scientists are discovering that what we think about makes a huge difference in our moods, our mental health, our physical health, and our short-term and long-term success, however you may define that loaded word. Olympic-level athletes use visualization to see themselves performing every part of their sport, including crossing the finishing line, breaking the record, clearing the bar, whatever they hope to accomplish. Visualization is another word for imagining. It's solo role-playing. Therapists and teachers have been using role-playing for decades, usually asking people to imagine themselves in certain social situations, facing a difficult, stressful encounter, and acting out how they would navigate it. Sometimes this is a solo exercise, and sometimes with a partner. How many of you have been asked in a training or a workshop to do a little role play? How many of you enjoyed that? Oddly enough, considering I am a professional game master, an empath, and an extrovert that absolutely loves role-playing games, I loathe role-playing exercises at workshops. I usually head for the door when they start. The difference is, very few of us want to role-play ourselves in difficult or challenging situations. We have a word for that already. It's called life. Role-playing is way more fun when we can pretend to be someone else doing something amazing somewhere or somewhen else. Turns out, it is also rather therapeutic, too. In the last couple of decades, many social scientists, psychologists, and therapists have started using role-playing games with clients, young and old, to help build communication skills, creative problem solving, ego strengthening, identity exploration, confidence building, sharpening focus, delaying gratification, adaptive behaviors, anger management, and many other therapeutic outcomes. Role-playing games have become a popular means of helping those on the autism spectrum. Role-playing games have proven amazingly effective with our incarcerated populations in teaching social skills and survival skills that make recidivism less likely. In schools, prisons, churches, boardrooms, the power of make-believe is being harnessed with games to help people make significant changes. And we do it every day, usually in ways we aren't even trying to. How many of you consider yourself to be worriers? Worst case scenario thinkers? My wife, Cheryl, is a trained certified consulting hypnotist. Her ministry is one of teaching people how to use their thoughts, their imagination, to help them make improvements and changes in their everyday lives. I am immensely proud of her, and I will talk about her and her ministry at the drop of a hat, so don't get me started. She says, worry is a terrible waste of your imagination. She's taught me a great deal about the power of our beliefs, our thoughts, our make-believe. That's what worry is, you know. It's a solo game of make-believe in a horror genre. It's us mentally casting ourselves in a disaster flick. Personally, I would much rather be in a superhero or an adventurer in a heroic story, wouldn't you? Way better than the victim running away from the zombies. Our thoughts lead to feelings, and they in turn lead to actions and reactions. Some people think feelings lead to thoughts. They're only partly right. Let's say your heart rate is up. Your palms are sweaty. Your stomach is a little fluttery. How are you feeling? Are you sure? Are you nervous? Or are you excited? The body's response is exactly the same for both. Your body reacts. And then your brain looks for context, for the why. Heart rate's up. I'm sweating. Our stomach is upset. What's going on? Am I nervous or excited? What's going on around me? And then it decides. I'm nervous or I'm excited. But you get to choose. Let me give you a hypnosis trick Cheryl taught me. She calls them Jedi mind tricks. I call them mental cantrips. If you're a D&D player, you caught that joke, and if you're not, don't worry about it. This one is useful if you are headed into surgery. Before you go in, before they give you the anesthetic, imagine what favorite food you will eat when you wake up. You know, they didn't let you eat probably for 6 hours, maybe 8 hours before your surgery, so that the anesthetics wouldn't mess you up and they wouldn't have to deal with food in your lower intestines while they were doing their surgery. So you're going to be hungry. So imagine your favorite food when you wake up. Imagine it with as much detail as possible. Imagine the feel of it in your hands, the weight of it on your fork, the smell as you bring it to your nose, the feel of it in your mouth, and of course the taste. Imagine it so hard your mouth waters and your tummy grumbles. Now, if I've done this right, some of you are already having your mouth water, and some of your stomachs let you know you're hungry, because we're empathic beings, and our imagination has an effect on our bodies. When you come out of surgery after doing that exercise, the nurse is going to ask you how you feel. And if you will honestly tell her you are famished, they're going to look at you with surprise and relief, because they expected you to come out of that nauseated or nauseous. But it's hard to be hungry and nauseous at the same time. And you imagined yourself being hungry. So that's how you woke up. You go ahead and try it next time you're getting surgery. It's an amazing trick. Self-talk is powerful. And the more positive our self-talk, the less depressed we feel, the more hopeful we are, and the more active we become, and the more successes we experience. Another example of one of my wife's cantrips or Jedi mind tricks. This one from before she was a hypnotist. She was a trained psychotherapist. We had just moved to Chicago, Illinois from Madison, Wisconsin, so I could attend seminary. And it was a huge culture shock for us. They're only, 2 hours apart? 3? But the difference in culture was amazing. And we were lamenting how unfriendly everyone was. And it was really bumming us out. And one day, Cheryl said, we need to stop this. Let's make note of the friendly people we find. Being the pessimist, I said, that won't take long. But we started noting friendly people we encountered. And you know what? We found a bunch of them. They were everywhere. Our whole attitude changed. And Chicago wasn't that bad anymore. And seminary wasn't that scary. Now, did our imagination change reality? Did we summon friendly people out of the woodwork? Did we change unfriendly people into friendly people? Not the way you think. Our perception of reality certainly changed. But more importantly, our own attitudes and behavior changed. And that caused the other people around us to change. That's the magic of make-believe. By playing pretend, we can change how we think, how we feel, and how we act. We can change how we perceive things and how others then perceive us. We also change the importance we put on things we notice in our environment. The psychology term for it is valence. That, my friends, will lead to transformation, personal growth, and community growth. You want to build the beloved community? Is that part of your UU church's mission statement? Then start by imagining it right now with you in it. How do you act in that world? How would you be in the world that is the beloved community you want to build? Let's not think about building it. Let's think about it being in existence. It's already happened. We got it. How do we act in that world? Play that game every day and see what happens. I play spiritual games every day, and I share spiritual games every week on my YouTube channel. Well, most weeks. I'm human after all. Games that help us change our way of being, our ways of interacting with the world. Playing games has always been a sacred act for human beings. Religious rituals often contain aspects of games of make-believe. So instead of growing up and working hard, maybe it's time we remembered to play and made believe more. You want a world that's more just? Imagine it being so, and imagine yourself being so. You want a world that is peaceful? Make believe it is. Play a peaceful part in it. Practice gratitude. Play as if every move matters and every person counts. Because they do. Process theology is simply the belief that creation is ongoing and we are co-creators of the world. That's the very definition of a role-playing game. Life is a role-playing game. Reality is a game of collaborative storytelling, and we are all invited to play in it. Shakespeare wrote in his play, As You Like It, all the world's a stage, and all of us merely players. Einstein said, God does not play dice with the universe. Maybe they were both half right. All the world's a game, and all of us merely players. And maybe the divine doesn't play dice with the universe, because the dice are actually in our hands. The game is ongoing, my friends. And it's your turn. Roll the dice. Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What world do you imagine? Let's play make-believe and make it so.
Thank you, Reverend Craig. And I just love the sounds of our growing church. It's so nice to hear. Now, please join me in our offering. Gifts for the good work of this church can be like magic. They can help our community's efforts to serve and to extend compassion to as many people as possible. Okay, I'll draw my book. Thank you. Did you know that each month our church shares money from the offering and with groups doing good works in our community? This month, we are proud to support the mobile food pantry. Have y'all ever been there before? The mobile food pantry? Each month, it's held at the Boys and Girls Club, and a lot of Brazos UUs help out, and you should too. One thing that makes this food pantry different is that they have protein, meat, milk, and eggs, which other food pantries don't have. So when we have healthy food, we can have healthy bodies, energy to make our lives and our communities even better. So please be as generous as you can so we can make sure there's not hungry folks in our community. Thank you so much. Your gifts of money, time, and energy nurture and grow the seeds of good works and hope. Now, please join me in extinguishing our chalice by saying the words up on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we gather together again. Thank you, Dory.
Imagine a world of love, justice, and peace. Believe in a world filled with laughter and beauty. We each have a role to play in such a world. Such a world is this world, waiting to become. Transformation and fun await us all. It's our turn. Let's play.